Welcome in everybody to the TK Pod. My name is Tyler Kluver. I was once a Division I football player. I am now a podcaster, fitness coach, and CrossFit athlete, doing all of that as a husband and father of two. This show is an audio journal, a spot for me to vent or ramble about thoughts I have relating to fitness and health, my personal competitive aspirations, business, entrepreneurship, and more. I hope that each show can provide one small bit of value for you, the listener. Regardless, I'm glad you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. Welcome into the TK Pod, and man, life is a whirlwind right now, and we're going to do a quick episode today because as part of that whirlwind, I am trying to, that's not even true. I don't have like a hard out today. There's no, I want to stay on schedule a little bit with things that are happening, but more of it is just like, I don't, this is going to sound bad, but I don't currently have the mental capacity on today, the 29th of January, 2026, to really dive into some deeper content. We have a couple big topics to hit today, one of which it pertains to why I don't have that mental energy. But I'm glad you're here. TK Pod coming at you once weekly on Wednesdays for I don't know how long. And could be forever. Could do this until I die. Who knows? Three things today. We're going to hit fatherhood, family and fatherhood. We're going to hit a quick business career topic. And then we'll finish with, and the reason why this is not on a Wednesday, and I prefaced last week that it would likely come on a Thursday, and that is the qualifier, the CrossFit qualifier for a competition that will happen later this summer, the First Form Monster Games in Kansas City in late July. The workouts officially got announced this morning. So we will go over those in brief detail and give my initial opinions on them. First, though, Tyler, why don't you have the mental energy? And sometimes you get into a rhythm with your children, with your job, work responsibilities, relationship with my wife, just life in general, where everything's clicking. Day by day, everything kind of happens as it should. There's no unexpected things. It's not necessarily a increased time of busyness during the year as we just came out of, which is a little bit why we had fallen into more of a routine, right? You get into the new year, you get past the holidays where you're traveling, you're going and seeing family, you're having, Kinley, our first child's birthday is in December as well. So there's just a lot of things that don't normally happen in a month that we're doing. And then you get into January and everything settles down and you get into a little rhythm. Well, as a part of that craziness, Kinley had her tonsils out, her adenoid out, tubes put in her ears, and that's a whole process. If you know anything about that as a parent, kids getting tonsils out and tubes put in and all that. Tonsils, adenoid, that went great. Throat is good. She can breathe now. Sleep is better. A lot of things are better. Her ears never really seemed to bother her, which is sort of the unfortunate side of this because even so, when they looked in there, they thought those ears kind of need to drain a little bit more fluid and it doesn't look like they're working properly. So we're going to put tubes in. Normally, those go fine. Ours didn't. We went back for the 2-week checkup on them. They look in and neither tube was clearing the fluid or the whatever that it was supposed to. So we have to do eardrops for a week where I have to hold her down morning and night so that my wife can get eardrops in her ear to try and flush her ears. It works on one of them. We had the re-checkup this morning. she has to get one of them replaced. So we now have to go in again, schedule another surgery, even though it's very quick and like about as non as invasive as you can be. We have to go get that redone. That's traumatic for a 3-year-old and not exactly the smoothest process. Whatever, we're gonna do it. Aside from that, though, and maybe because of the pain that she's had in her ear, she's been waking up towards the back half of the night, somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock, and she can't go back to sleep. And I think it might be because her ear is bothering her. I'm not really sure. Bad dreams come into play now. But 2 of the last 3 nights, she's woken up at 3:45 in the morning and does not fall back asleep. Cries. I go into her room, try and settle her down. She only wants me. So mom is like, mom is useless, not because mom is actually useless, but because Kinley renders her useless. So I'm the only one that can do anything. She won't fall back asleep. She can't get comfortable. She's already like an OCD little kid who like hates when the things are touching her wrong, the blanket's on the wrong way, all this stuff. And so we lay there and eventually she doesn't go back to sleep and it's 5 a.m. after an hour worth of trying. And then we just end up on the couch at 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning watching TV an hour plus before we're even supposed to start our morning. Whatever. I understand. It's tough for the kid too. We have the baby boy who's almost 8 months old, and he thankfully is a saint and has been sleeping all the way through the night and is so easy to take care of. But we're parents of two. You're already tired, and then your night gets cut down from your normal 8 hours to 6 hours, which for some people is probably like, oh, boo-hoo, you got 6 hours of sleep a couple nights. Like that's my average. Okay. Well, what if you went from 6 to 4? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm taking 25% of my normal sleep away. And so the last couple days I have just been dragging. And that's where we currently land. And that's just the joys of parenthood. That's what you sign up for. So hopefully we're gonna get the surgery scheduled to get her tube replaced. We're gonna get the tube back in her ear. It's all gonna be good. And we can move past that. Um, Two reasons why we're doing this today. One, mostly because of the workouts that came out this morning. I wanted to wait until I saw them to get my thoughts on it for this podcast, but also because yesterday, Wednesday, right about the time I would have normally been recording this, was a meeting that I had for this behind me there on the YouTube, the Wash Up Walk-Ons, the main podcast and media show that brings in income for me. And long story short, I think this meeting and the potential for partnership with the people I was meeting with, more to come out on this if it all comes to fruition, was I think it's going to be fruitful and I think it will be beneficial for the brand. I think it will be beneficial for me personally, both in just relationship building and building the business and the brand and creating positive relationships and expanding and evolving as as a show and as a person, and also bottom line financially. But this meeting had been scheduled for about a week, and it could have gone like in another world, in some alternate universe where there's like 100 outcomes. The best of outcomes would have been us walking away from this meeting, and it could have been like kind of life changing, depending on, again, this would have been the people we're working with and how much and how aggressive they wanted to do things here. And it has to do with us being acquired by them and like really maximizing sponsorship and ad deals and stuff like that. And so I kind of built it up in my head like there's a possibility we could really this could be very lucrative. Like I'm excited. And the meeting ended up being a little bit more lukewarm. And that kind of made me disappointed because I don't get a lot of those meetings. And there was nothing bad about the meeting. Like the guys I met with were great. Um, Again, I think that we're progressing to a point, idea wise and, you know, action wise, between the two parties where eventually we could get to where I want to be. I was just kind of hoping it all happened at once and they hit me with like, yeah, here's a big number. Here's the things we're gonna do. Ready, set, go. And it wasn't that. And so maybe some things to talk about there, maybe not. I think the takeaway is I don't know what the takeaway is. The takeaway is I don't get a lot of those meetings. And so I really built it up to be like, "Oh my god, this could be monumental." And it was like more of a, "Hey, we'll get to know each other a little bit more. Here's some general ideas that we can work off of. Who knows what it could be." Um, and again, I think if we execute on the very base broad ideas that we have, uh, 1, 3, 5 years down the line, it could open up a lot of doors for me. Um, I guess moral of the story is I'm just impatient. So that's where we're at. Um, let's talk about workouts. And I will just pull up the workouts from I'll just go to Comp Corner. First four monster games, the workouts have been released. There are 5 workouts, 6 scores. 5 workouts, 6 scores. First workout. See if I can maximize this a little bit more. Maybe there. There, sure. That works. Workout number 1 is called Burning the Candle at Both Ends. It's going to be a 12-minute AMRAP of 3 ring muscle ups, 6 double dumbbell hang snatch, and 36 double unders. I really like, there's a little bit of an art aesthetic to the CrossFit space. And when people, it has almost usually no function or real significance to how the workout plays out, but sometimes it can be fun to write workouts on paper where it looks very pretty. And this is one of those. So 3, 6, 36 is the rep scheme. And it works really well with the movements that they put in. And this is of the 5 workouts. There's generally going to be at least one of these, sometimes 2. And this is your merry-go-round AMRAP. So generally not the style of workout I'm the best at when you're talking like a true lifting format or a chipper or a for time or an interval or an AMRAP. Those are kind of the main ones. The AMRAPs are not my jam. These are generally light. They're generally lower rep per round, which this one definitely qualifies for. And it is essentially how well and how long can you move at a specific speed for the entirety of a workout. And generally, the reason I'm not good at these as well is because of the time frame. Merry-go-rounds are usually 12 minutes is really the lower end of like an AMRAP style workout. You're usually going 15, 18, 20 plus on these. So in that sense, as far as initial thoughts go, and again, I want to be quick on these, but my initial thoughts here are good time frame as far as as far as the AMRAP style of workout goes. I've been hammering double unders. So 36 double unders, and when you break this down a little deeper, you're looking at like 10-ish rounds. Maybe somebody can EMOM it for 12 rounds. You're looking at under 400 dubs. Should be no problem for me, even under fatigue. Ring muscle ups, really no better way for a ring muscle up, even though I've been practicing them as well, to show up for me here. Just sets of 3 with like 45 seconds to a minute rest in between. And then the weightlifting portion of this, I always am going to wish that it was more significant because I have an advantage relative to the field when it comes to weightlifting. But um, double dumbbell hang snatch with 50s is not easy for a lot of guys, especially a lot of guys who are going to excel at the other 2 movements. So I might have an advantage there. And so this workout, I don't hate. Like, you're going to get something like this. This is about as good as it could. Good, about as good as it could happen for me. Um, let's find a where there now I can put my face on the screen. There we go. Um, can I move that? Not really. Nope. Um, so not mad about it. Workout number 2 called Worth the Risk. It's a two-parter. Um, and it's going to go like this: 16 minutes to complete 2 rounds of 50 toe to bar, 50 line facing burpees. So 50-50 back to 50-50. Once you finish 2 rounds of that, 100 reps of toes to bar and 100 reps of line facing burpees, you then go into, with the remaining time on that 16-minute clock, a 3 rep max snatch in which you can do singles. You just have to hit 3 in a row at the same weight. There are 2 scores. One is the time completed for the first part. 2 is the 3 rep max that you hit on the bar. I like this workout. Again, rarely are you going to find workouts, and this is what I have to remember when I'm going over these. Rarely are you going to get workouts where you're like, oh, it's perfect for me. And those are ones that you should be scared of anyway, because you're like, okay, then I should just be great. I should be amazing. Love a 3 rep max snatch. Okay. Should be about as competitive as you could possibly be in the entire field here. There'll be a few guys who, they hit more than me, but there are not many people who have a 3 rep max snatch in this field that's much higher. I just hit 245 for a quad for a 4 rep within a minute. I hit 245 for 4 reps in 60 seconds last week. Now, again, that wasn't after finishing 100 toes to bar and 100 line facing burpees. So you take that fatigue into account. But again, I should be fine here relative to the field. On this first part, it's a little concerning. I don't hate burpees. I'm good at burpees. I'll be fine on the burpees. 100 toes to bar is something that should not give someone at my level fits, but between anything more than 75 and 10 minutes when it's paired with other stuff, and I am fatigued. Like that is tough for me. So we'll see how I fare. You get to break it into 2 sets of 50, which is obviously beneficial. 100 at a time would be tough for me. The more the worse it gets. But those toes to bar are going to be what, and there's already a time. Hepner, who's associated with this competition, he did a time on this, and it came out because they released this about the night before. And he did this first part 50-50, 50-50 in 8:03, basically averaging right at 25 reps a minute, which I think I can do on the burpees. I cannot do that on toes to bar. Might be damage control. We'll see. 2-parter, should do really well on the second part. Hopefully we can score well in the first part. Workout number 3. This one's called Lonely Road. Last one was called Worth the Risk. This one's called Lonely Road. This will be an interesting one. 18-minute time cap, and I was really confused at the first when I first saw this because the weights weren't posted on the Instagram video. 9, 15, 21 of clean and jerks, 15, 21, 27 of double dumbbell box step overs with 50s, but only over a 20-inch box. So men get to use a 20-inch just like women do. These are essentially nothing, right? That's like 3 minutes worth of time here across the entire workout. Maybe 3 to 4 minutes, maybe faster for people who are burning. And they're over 20 inches, so it's going to be 4 inches less than most people train on. I was confused because while that is a good amount of clean and jerks for any weight, 45 reps, 18 minutes is an eternity for basically a couplet, where one is only going to take, one movement is going to take total 3 minutes, like 3 minutes. And then I got on here and I saw, it's 185 pounds. That makes more sense. So within the CrossFit community, you're doing 9, 15, 21 is a classic rep scheme, 21, 15, 9. Everyone knows right off the bat, that's 45 reps. One of the classic workouts of CrossFit at 135, not 185, is Grace, which is 30. So your rounds of 9 and 21 combined, 30 clean and jerks at 135 for time. And for most CrossFitters, a time between like 2 and 3 minutes is pretty good on that, like 10 reps a minute. Really good for your average person, but like you're thinking like 3 minutes on that. So now you're doing that times 1.5. You're adding that set of 15 in there. You have the other fatigue from the step overs, and you're doing those clean and jerks at 185 pounds. That makes that 18-minute cap make a little bit more sense. Now, still, I love this. This is great for me. There aren't much better movements than clean and jerks for your boy. Uh, and I've gotten better at the step overs to where they shouldn't be a problem. So I got to hammer this. I kind of look at this 18-minute cap. I still think I should be able to hit this in around 10 minutes, is my thought on that. Could be wrong. Because even just 45 clean and jerks for time by itself, no step overs, you'd have to hit 4.5 reps, 4 to 5 reps a minute at 185, which is a good amount. It's a decent pace. That's like a rep every 12 to 14 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds. So I'm gonna have to be back down around like 1 rep every 8 to 10 seconds when you factor in the time it's going to take for the step overs to stay around that 10-minute mark. Who knows? Maybe that's really aggressive for a guesstimate on my side of things, but that'll be a good one. And I imagine that should be a good score for me. Then you get into these two. Really, this one is the biggest question right now for me. Can't even fit the whole thing on here, barely. 24-minute cap. Okay. Bad for your boy. Not good. Bad for your boy. The longer, the less good. I am fast twitch. I want things to happen quickly. I don't want long workouts. I want power output, not long, slow, grindy. And that's exactly what this fucking is. You're going to do 5 rounds of 15 wall balls, 12 box jump overs, 9 pull ups, 6 wall walks. 5 rounds of that. When you complete those 5 rounds of 15, 12, 6, 9, 15, 12, 9, 6, then you're going to do 1 round of all of those movements combined. The 5 rounds of each movement all combined into that total rep load. So you've at that point done 75 wall balls, 60 box jump overs, 45 pull-ups, and 30 wall walks. You're then going to attack that in a chipper style all at once. A set of 75 wall balls, a set of 60 box jump overs, a set of 45 pull-ups, and a set of 30 wall walks to finish this workout, 20 minutes deep. That's a shitload of volume. This is one that we'll talk about this in a second. Like in normal scenarios, you would never do this one over. Like there's like not never, but like you would just not want to do this one over. 24-minute workout, or at least a cap. There will be plenty of people who finish it. There will be a lot of people who don't. There's for those that are CrossFit adjacent, but not full into the community, there is a standardized workout called Karen. They name all their workouts in CrossFit. Karen is 150 wall balls by itself, just 150 wall balls for time. Well, that's the amount of wall balls in this workout. 5 rounds of 15, and then the 1 round of 75 equals 150. And that's just one of the 4 movements. You're doing Karen, which is for the elite in the 4s. You're doing it somewhere in the 4-minute range, 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes. You're doing all that, and then you're also doing 120 box jump overs, 90 pull-ups, and 60 wall walks. I just have no idea what this looks like. I tried to piece this out in my head. Wall walks make a rep per minute calculation a little bit tricky. I guess in short, the way that I can adjust to this is I've gotten better at longer workouts. I've done a lot of wall balls. I've been doing wall walks because I know that they're gonna come up in this or the open, so I don't feel bad about any of the movements. The pull-ups are like just pull-ups. They're not even chest to bar pull-ups. That's great. Those will be nothing. The fact that I'm gonna do a workout where 90 pull-ups is quite literally just an afterthought is, I guess, good for me. The box jump overs won't be that bad either. It's gonna be how do you manage the wall ball and wall walk fatigue in the shoulders? That is gonna be an interesting one, and I have no idea if I'm gonna do good or I'm gonna do bad. Likely the name of the game on this one is you are gonna have to push harder than you want to, sooner than you want to, while not hitting that red line, but you're gonna have to be uncomfortable, um, knowing that you're yeah, it's interesting workout. That one's called Bridges Burned, and the bridges are burned at this point. I guess maybe good name. Final workout is a sprint. Finally, we get a sprint, right? And we just get, my one of my worst things to sprint at. Oh man, it's the way it works. No cap on this. So you're gonna finish it regardless. If it takes you an hour, you fucking it takes you an hour. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Another common rep scheme. Down by 2 each time. Um, Preserves intensity, elicits a sprint uh, stimulus, and that's what you're doing. That's basically the workout. There's a qualifier after each round, but you're doing 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of front squats at 155. 30 front squats at 155. After each one of those rounds, the 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, you have to, with it in the front rack, with the bar, you have to do a 20-foot walking lunge, which is about 6 steps. 3 steps, 3, yeah, about 3 steps each side. 3 lunges on each leg after each set, which obviously is a interference, muscle interference workout. You're using your legs and your quads and basically all your lower body to do the front squats fast, quickly building up that lactic acid. And then at the end of each set, you're asked to then lunge it out 3 steps on each side. I mean, this will be a fast one, right? 30 front squats. Um, if you just ask somebody to do 30 front squats at 155, that's unbroken probably in less than a minute, less than a rep every 2 seconds for sure. I think even I could do that. So now you're going to ask people to do that basically with 15 lunges on each leg interspersed in between. So this quite literally is I don't know, fuck, a 2-minute workout. It's not longer than 3 minutes. Yeah, it's not longer than 3 minutes. I think it's closer to 2, and it's going to hurt. The legs are going to feel like they're absolutely engorged, pumped. But I don't know, we'll see. It's not exactly a big man workout. It's 155 pounds. Front squat, not exactly my best lift. Volume squatting, not exactly my best thing. So this is going to be this one right here. While it plays to my ability to power output and just go fast and short, um, the movement does not. And so this is going to be about how much pain I can endure because you can basically always do another front squat, especially in the sets that they have. Um, how many times do you have to set it down? Because a lot of people are going to be, wow, this has turned into a 30-minute podcast. What the fuck are we doing? Um, yeah, that's the workouts. We have last thing on that is that you can see the clock right here. This qualifier is damn near. uh, it's 2 days short of 3 weeks. So there's going to be some people who do these workouts like 5 times. And I'm just not going to subject myself to that. I'm taking a pretty much an off day today. Um, in fact, it might be a full off day. I think I was going to ride the Peloton. I don't even think I'm going to do it. I might just go for another walk. I did a walk this morning. Um, So when I wake up tomorrow, I'll have 18 days to complete these 5 workouts. And I'll likely do them all at least twice because of that time frame. I'd like to refrain from doing any of them a third time, um, because I am still trying to just train through, to the open, but I'm also trying to qualify for the elite division in this, and you're if you think at all you're leaving something on the table, then you're dumb not to redo it, right? So that's what the qualifier looks like off the bat. Hopefully some people post some videos public of their workouts. I can catch a couple other people doing it, catch some scores, try and set some goals, and hopefully I can the goal is to qualify elite. We're gonna do our best. That's it. We'll see you next week. Peace.